Moving on to let's make Indian flatbreads, more or less like chapatis, our day-to-day bread which we use and eat with sabzis. They are made in every household. Some make it thin, some make it fat, some make it small, some make it big. So let's start and I'll show you how to do this. Let's first take a proportion of the flour. We have whole wheat flour here. I'm taking approximately 1.5 bowl. This should make 3 to 4 chapatis if you're making small. If you're making big, you can make 2 chapatis out of it. We're gonna add half a spoon of salt, 1 spoon of oil, and water to your requirement to bind your flour. Add water slowly so that you only add the required amount to bind the dough. The excessive water will make your dough very loose and runny. Once you think your ingredients have come together, start using your hand to bind the dough. And add water on the go, as in how you require it. If you can see, the dough is leaving the sides, your bowl is clean. How would you know that your dough is coming together? Once the sides of your vessel are cleaner. Any dough, whenever you prepare, leave it aside for at least 10 to 15 minutes for the gluten to work and to bind. Your dough is ready. I'm going to add very little oil to smooth out the surfaces, and then we'll leave it aside for 10 to 15 minutes. There, your chapati dough is ready. A chapati dough has been sitting for a while now. Take very little oil and bind your dough. Make your dough smooth. Since our dough has been sitting for almost half an hour now, the gluten is binded. If you can see, it looks smooth and nice. Now make round dough balls of equal sizes for your chapati and smooth it out between your hands. This is the size of a dough ball which will yield into a medium-sized roti. We are not making very small, we are not making very big rotis, medium-sized rotis. I always wonder how our mothers and grandmothers make equal-sized dough balls only on an estimate. They never take any measuring scale, but it's always the right size. Dust the dough ball with dry flour. Press it a little so that it's coated thoroughly with dry flour, so it's easy to roll. Sometimes if you realize that your dough is a little runny, you can refrigerate it for a while and it can become a little firm. Let me roll it out for you now. You can see your chapati is taking shape. Always make sure that whenever you're rolling, use the rolling pin on the edges of your roti, never in the center, as the center is anyway getting rolled out. Whenever you put pressure on the sides become of the equal size. Sprinkle a little flour as and when needed. Spread it across your chapati. If need be, you can put it a little here as well. The chapati is ready to go on the griddle. We've put a cast iron tawa on a stove to heat. I'm gonna now cook my chapati. Chapati has a 3-layer cooking process. The moment you see small bubbles forming, you can flip one side. Turn it a little so that it's evenly cooked. So many times it happens that while we are making the chapati, there is a small burst on the side and the chapati doesn't become into a big balloon which we expect it to be, but it's absolutely okay. If you can see the bubbles forming, which means the other layer of the chapati is cooking. You can see the brown dots. We'll let it cook for 1 more minute. So you can see this layer of chapati is cooked. Now we're gonna flip it. You can move your tawa and put your chapati on the flame. There. That's your perfect chapati. You can lower the gas, get it out, serve it on a plate, and apply little ghee. If it was my mom, I would have had this chapati with 2 spoons of ghee. But everybody watches what we eat. Eating a chapati without ghee is a crime. Now chapati is ready to be served. Chapati is our everyday food. We Indians eat chapati in the morning, in night, and it goes well with dal, it goes well with sabzi. It is very simple to make a chapati. It doesn't need any fermentation, it doesn't need any sitting. Just the dough needs to rest for 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour, as long as you can keep it so that the gluten binds well. And if you let the dough sit for a while, you can be sure that your rotis will come out soft and fluffy.